Days bled into each other as she wandered between empty motels and gas stations frozen in time. Clocks didn't tick. Shadows didn't stay still. And every reflection she caught, car windows, broken mirrors, even puddles, showed a version of herself that wasn't her. Sometimes smiling, sometimes crying, sometimes whispering her name backwards. The hunger gnawed at her stomach, but the thought of eating anything here made her sick. Once, she found a vending machine glowing faintly in the dark, but when she pressed a button, a severed hand dropped from the slot, curled and twitching. She screamed until her throat tore raw. That's when she started hearing him, the voice. It wasn't deep or monstrous. It was calm, almost soothing, speaking from the back of her skull. "You can't run from where you belong, Evelyn," it whispered. "You already know what you did." The voice never said what she had done, and she couldn't remember. Her memories were fogged, blurred like overexposed photos. She remembered fire, a crash, the smell of gasoline, and the taste of blood on her tongue. Then nothing. The next thing she knew, she was on this road, with only guilt as her compass. Each time she tried to rest, the nightmares returned. Visions of a burning orphanage, screaming children, her hands covered in ash and soot. Once, she woke to find words carved into her arm. Confess. She didn't know if she had done it to herself. One night, as lightning forked across the black sky, she found an old church standing alone in the fog. Its bell tower was cracked, its windows shattered, yet a single candle flickered inside. Desperate, she entered. The pews were covered in dust, and the air was thick with incense and rot. A priest stood at the altar, head bowed. She approached him, voice shaking, begging for help. When he lifted his face, his eyes were hollow pits leaking black smoke. "You can't pray your way out, child," he hissed. "You built this place." And suddenly she remembered. The orphanage. The fire. Her car parked outside. The argument with the headmistress. The gasoline she had stolen. The matches in her coat pocket. Her plan had been to scare them, to get revenge for being fired, not to kill anyone. But the flames had spread too fast. The children hadn't made it out. She had fled, drunk, screaming, the sirens chasing her into the night until the crash sent her car spinning into darkness. She should have died. She did die. The realization hit her like a hammer. She wasn't running from hell. She was already in it. The priest began to laugh, his jaw splitting open as his flesh peeled away, revealing a burning skull beneath. The church walls melted into rivers of molten ash, and Evelyn turned to run, but the door vanished. Hands erupted from the floor, clutching her ankles, dragging her down. She screamed, clawing at the pews, at the air, but the voice returned, louder now, echoing from the cracks in her mind. "There is no escape," it said. "You are the fire." She felt herself falling through darkness, the air around her thick with the cries of the damned. Faces of the children she had killed appeared, their eyes glowing like embers. They didn't scream. They just stared. "We waited for you," one whispered. "Now run." When she hit the ground, it wasn't solid. It was soft and pulsing, made of flesh and teeth. She scrambled to her feet, and the landscape around her came into focus, a wasteland of burning bodies and endless screams. Rivers of molten blood ran through twisted cities made of bone. The sky burned red, and creatures with wings of smoke circled above, whispering prayers backward. She ran because running was all she had ever known. Every step tore her feet open. Every breath filled her lungs with ash, but she couldn't stop. The land shifted with her, stretching forward infinitely. Sometimes she thought she saw the highway again. Sometimes her old home. Sometimes her mother's face in the firelight. All illusions. All traps. Hell wasn't a place. It was a memory you couldn't escape. After what felt like centuries, she collapsed beside a dead tree, her body shaking violently. The voice was quiet now, almost tender. "You can stop," it said. "All you have to do is burn." And she understood. To end the running, she had to face the fire she had started. She stood, tears cutting clean lines through the soot on her face, and opened her arms to the rising flame that appeared before her. It wrapped around her gently, not with pain, but with understanding. She screamed, not in agony, but in release. The world went silent. The fire consumed her completely, and for the first time, she felt light. The road vanished. The sky cleared. When she opened her eyes again, she was standing on the same highway she had started from, her dress once more white, her hands clean. The red glow on the horizon was gone, replaced by dawn. For a moment, she thought she was free. Then she heard it, the soft sound of a child laughing behind her. She turned slowly. There they were, the children standing in the middle of the road, holding hands, smiling. Their eyes burned like tiny suns. "Run," one of them whispered, giggling, and the world began to burn again. Evelyn screamed and started running, her feet pounding against the road as fire chased her from every direction. There was no end, no beginning, only the endless loop of her own sin chasing her through eternity. She had wanted to escape hell. Instead, she became it.